Hello, my name is Brooke Duncan, and I am a communication student at the University of Houston. I will be exploring a few differences found between Western and Eastern cultures. The specific cultures I'm going to be comparing are American and Chinese cultures, which is better known as Chimerica, which was first used by authors Wenshan Jia and Duxin Tian to describe the sum of China and America. But first, here is a brief history about China and the United States of America. The United States of America is the world's third largest country, which is located in North America. The United States is populated with 323 million individuals, which doesn't even amount to half of China's population. China takes up most of Asia with a population of about 1.4 billion people. The U.S. is currently facing a divide between its people, which is a result of the recent election of the 45th president, President Donald Trump. Many citizens are worried that Trump will lead the U.S. to the beginning of World War III, although there are also a vast number of citizens that believe Trump is exactly what the U.S. needs to get back on its feet. And now we will look at the communication concepts while using Hofstede's cultural dimension theory. Individualism versus collectivism. The US In the US, we seem to focus more on being an individual because the thought of being unique and different from others is considered normal. Individualists look after themselves and immediate family. In the US, we value self care, personal opinion, and speaking one's mind. Although in Chinese cultures, they prefer collective groups rather than an individual problem solving. Collectivists protect their extended family in exchange for unquestioning loyalty. In China, individually going against the group decision is seen as odd and a disruption of harmony. Young children are taught to focus on what's best for the group, and their family is always the main priority. In the US, children are told to think for themselves and always do what's best for them as an individual. They separate themselves from others and want to be the main focus, unlike the Chinese who want to maintain the same goal as everyone around them. Verbal and nonverbal. Americans are extremely direct and to the point when speaking. They know exactly what they want to say and they will say it in the clearest way possible. They also appreciate knowing exactly what others mean when speaking. Chinese are not clear when they speak. They focus more on the nonverbal side of communication, which such as facial expressions and body gestures. When they misunderstand something, they will usually say yes or nod their head out of respect because it is considered rude to ask someone to repeat themselves. The reason they focus more on nonverbal communication is because they center so much on nonverbal cues and actions that someone from an opposite culture might not pick up on. This gives them an opportunity to figure out what is not being said. Monochromic versus polychromic time. Chinese and American cultures also have different views of time. Chinese time is very polychromic, meaning that they don't rely on appointments, and being punctual isn't a concern for them. They usually act in a more flexible manner by showing up early or late. It is very rare that they show up on time. They like to give themselves an open window of time so they have an opportunity to work on other relationships that may be more important to them. In the US, citizens believe that time is money. Decisions are made promptly so we can move on to the next topic and stay ahead of others. Americans practice monochromic time and find it very important to adhere to schedules in a timely manner. If a meeting is set to start at 1 o'clock, then everyone is expected to be present no later than 1 o'clock. While in Chinese cultures, they aren't concerned if a meeting starts late or ends late. This video looked at how China and the United States compare in terms of individualism versus collectivism, verbal versus nonverbal, and time. If I had only learned one thing in studying intercultural communications this semester that I see benefiting me in the future in communicating with people from other cultures, it is that each culture has a different concept of time. Some cultures are never punctual because they are making time for other more meaningful things in life. After everything I learned this semester, I feel like I can visit another country and respect their views and cultural norms.